Okay, so I've been looking up the name of the, you know, the classic stages of grief, and apparently it's known as the Kubler-Ross grief cycle. And upon it, I would say that I'm roughly at the position where I would be bargaining. So I've gone through denial, I've gone through anger. Now I think I'm on bargaining. Not quite at depression yet. Acceptance is probably a long way off. I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to come to depression. I might, you know, settle for sadness, but I think depression is a big word to use here. But yeah, I think if I offer up enough entrance to this game, it will eventually allow me to get the divine item that is associated with the entropy. And then I'll be happy. Well, then I won't be happy, then I'll be moving on to the next target. But, yeah, I have not had trouble with any of them as much as this one. This is really quite something. Pardon me. I know that was only one coin, but I just wanted to see if that would somehow drop a, you know, matchbook. I mean, it never drops a matchbook. Watch, the next one will drop a matchbook. But, you gotta try, haven't you? There's a guy on the wiki who goes by Raisins who's been doing quite a lot of work on the sort of the strangers page, and I probably should have had a look at that to see if anybody's worked out the odds of strangers actually dropping their goods. I don't know. They've done quite a nice job with itemising all the things a stranger can drop, though. Yeah, this is, I will say of this game that there is nowhere near as much depth as you get in a lot of roguelites. There just isn't. But that's okay. It's not that kind of like deep, you know, massive synergies kind of game. I mean, I put up a Steam review about this thing, and the way I see it, there's enough depth to be interesting, but not so much that you know, get overwhelmed. It's just enough to sort of, you know, just to hook you. Yeah, I'm not playing the 50-50 game. I'm sorry. Tokens. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, a bazaar. Now that's interesting, actually. Oh, windy, really. Oh, cheers. Thanks, Sonoman. Yeah, that's really... Well, it could remove itself. I mean, stranger things have happened. I have seen Underwing destroy itself. What's most likely, I think, is that Underwing is about to remove most of my minions. Including that one that I've just generated, which is more food for Underwing. Feels pretty good that I couldn't do anything about that. Oh well. There is also that this game, I don't think it even pretends that it's going to be fair. It doesn't have to be. I feel like if I die in Isaac, it's always my fault. Unless I pick up soy milk. Nah. The liar. Now that's not fun. And also you've just turned all my loot into monsters. Cool. This run is going to suck. Real badly. Unless I find a way to remove Underwing. The bazaar might. But by then I'll probably have like, I don't know, 4 or 5 omens. And at that point, well, really anything could be happening. Yeah, real good. Real good. Which also means I won't be getting as much cash, because now all my money is monsters. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Why are we still here? Just to suffer. And, oh cool, a minion's gone, and now I don't get good items because I get all the cheap items. There's a monster that should have been cash. I could see this run being a complete roll. Just... It ain't gonna happen. If I was Spy, there may actually be an advantage to occasionally having a monster be cash. Or a cash be a monster, rather. But I ain't a Spy. And so I cry. I mean, I suppose I get slightly more XP. It's hard to be too grumpy about that. Except I don't really need XP that much. And Soul Sludge, hey! So now, every once in a while, I just kind of lose some health. Hey! And I bet my minions can't Soul Sludge. Although maybe they can. Maybe that's just another way for me to lose some minions. I would say that it's possibly a bit of a blessing that I don't use a face cam. It's probably a blessing that I don't use a face cam anyway, because I've spent most of the afternoon gardening and I'm kind of dishevelled. Yeah. Yes, everyone's impressed with how loud you are. And how bitey you are. Dunno really. Does a beholder need teeth? Considering the kind of things they do. They don't really bite things much, do they? Well, at least Soul Sludge is gone. And replaced with something kind of benign, actually. Which means I might get more contagions. Which I suppose in the current climate is somewhat appropriate. Yeah, I really shouldn't make COVID jokes. I'm not a big fan of them. Especially because I'm convinced, absolutely convinced that I'm at some point going to get it. This isn't just a, you know, just a doom thing. I mean, I've got family in the health services now, so I mean, sooner or later, you know, someone's going to end up bringing the work home, huh? I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm in the youthful and likely to be okay kind of category, so any privilege. Cool. What have I missed? Oh, really? Okay. I'd forgotten about that. There you go. So we have kind of trash. Yeah, at least it's defense. Weird and situational. And rough. Oh, and it's taken the item that I wanted to use on the last level. Then get all that defense, don't you? Well, we'll go to the bazaar and see if anyone's dumb enough to take an omen. Of course you are. Of course you are. Yes, that's a better trade. And what do we have now? We've still got Underwing, which is bad. We've sloughed off some of the rubbish though. Now we're in business. We could get one more Miracle Seed. No, because that'll make Underwing proc a lot more frequently. And yeah, I like Halo. And there's a time to use that, provided Underwing doesn't take it. No, I can't use my Lyre. Shiny Dramatic Entropy. Well, I'm glad I got rid of the Golem Glove now that this is shiny. But Dramatic does mean that I will be just occasionally making more monsters. Sorry, making more... making more... you know, damage. That's interesting though, because normally this would be a little bit rough, but it's a large stage, so not so bad. And if there's ever a time to fight Time Lord Kronos, it's on a shiny stage when I've got a lot of ammunition to use against him. So, okay. that doesn't matter too much. We could be in business here. Sort of hard to tell. I am incredibly glad that the Golem blood has gone though, because that would have been an instant loss. Yeah, Time Lord Kronos, and I can't generate coins. That would have been cool. I probably would have been equipped actually, because I don't think there's anything you can do about that. Right. I mean, I figure really you probably want to use Underwing. Oh. Right, okay. Is that what does that do again? Every time you gain an item, you destroy an item at the same time. Right, okay, we're using this now. And, I think this is the right time to use that. Because potentially I could hit for a 2 damage against a monster. And, yeah, then... well, that's it. There's one. That. Yep, we're off. Yep, and we've started the fire. It was burning since the wall's been turning. You know, that's still a really solid song. Yep. How many? We got 3. Okay. Yeah, of course you do that. I mean, of course you do that. Unless we get something that makes a bad thing happen on Monster Reveal. Now, admittedly, a Pyro isn't so good on a shiny level because, they are going to have a hard time penetrating the shell of coins. But what I really want is that fire propagation, which is what they are about to facilitate. So yeah, give me that please. While the level just solves itself. You see a statue? Nah, I'll go there. Don't want that. You want to get out of here before the level gives me some kind of omen that's completely stupid. Don't really care if they kill themselves, frankly. Have I still got blood magic? No, in fact that only replaced it. That does mean I've got more. Oh, that's rough. Well, that's my flare game gone. But we got a lot of use out of it, and well, I'm feeling naughty. Although, oh yeah, Underwing is selected, isn't it? Bam, 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 bam. There we go. So now I can calm down a little bit. I sincerely believe, I don't believe that's the intended function of Hungry Plants, but it's certainly my function for Hungry Plants. It's all I really use them for, because 9 times out of 10 I do not want to sacrifice my entire infantry to gain 1 present. Well, the Pacemaker is it's not great, it's not bad. I did the right thing by using my Halo when I did, because I'm certainly not going to recharge my Mastery. What damage, really? Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't paying attention to my time, I suppose. It's still... I'm still going to have to try and skim through this pretty quick, but now it's not as much of an issue. Just keep collecting the coins every once in a while. You'll be fine. Don't even have to really ration them like I'd normally have to against Kronos. No, I'm not. You're fine. Another penny in the meter. No traffic warden today. Stop it. Would you? No one is impressed with what you're doing, okay? You're being a nuisance, right? You're making a fool of yourself. Everyone's just pitying you. and how little effect you're having. Just give up. Just roll over and let me have this. Because I will have this. You will allow me to have this. Maybe don't collect the money on the burning cells. Huh? That's the thinking man's manoeuvre. Speaking of airworms earlier, now I've got the theme tune to the Wallace and Gromit series in my head. It's just so cheerful. I suppose my region has a bit of a brass band tradition, so I'm probably a little bit predisposed to enjoy that kind of stuff, but yeah. It's a nice song. It always made me think of Christmas though, because that was just part of the whole, Christmas tradition was new admin animation on, it was like Christmas Eve usually. I think it was Christmas Eve, it was always on the run-up anyway, it was a big part of the holiday. And Christmas Teller was always a big part of it, and it still is to a degree. I know Christmas is a different animal now that I'm, mid-30s. And that's something of a shame in itself, but, I don't know, it's all just tradition now, isn't it? I suppose there are plenty of people that do still do a big family Christmas. I mean, not to get too maudlin about it, my family's a lot smaller than it used to be. It's just a function of time, isn't it? But still go over and see who we can, and it's certainly easier for me than it is for my wife, because most of her family are still kicking around. I did not mean to say family, and I feel a bit disgusted in myself now. Yeah, you gotta stop it with this dramatic stuff, huh? Keep very nearly breaking into Grab Bag, the Duke Nukem theme song. Probably the single best thing about Duke Nukem Forever was the new rendition of Grab Bag. I think it was called Grab Bag anyway. That's what it was called the one time I found a copy of it online. I heard that the expansion pack for that was actually pretty reasonable. If you, I was watching Civvy cover it. So. I like that guy. He's got a sense of humour that resonates quite well for me, which I don't always find in Americans, and it isn't, like Americans don't know what humour is. It's certainly nothing like that, but it's just I tend to find that we're from, sort of different, being from different cultural backgrounds, we just find different things funny, and yeah, that guy kind of gets it. I mean, British humour is inscrutable anyway, isn't it? I've actually tried making sense of Monty Python. No, where do we go? Yeah, that's not great, is it? So one of these, a couple of these. I think you gotta go for it, yeah. And now it's just a couple of these. Probably that one. Yeah, okay. I mean... yeah, well, it could have been anything really. Wizard hat. Oh, fond memories of the cybersex exploits of Blood Ninja. That's a pretty good story. But not one for now, I suspect. Now then, is there a way to even solve this here? I'm thinking no, actually. Alright, that's better. It's not exactly perfect. I'm gonna have to guess one more time, at least. Yep. Racking that dramatic up, aren't you? More familiars because I got a little... Yeah, let's try for some gear. It's always a fallback, isn't it? Would have potential if I could reach it. Hoist by my own fiery petard. And with no more chests, I'm out of answers. Unless... Of course you can't use it because you can't get to it. Yeah, I realised what I was doing right as I was doing it. Yeah, really? Well, fine. That does seem to have cleared things out a little. But I do not like my odds here. Yeah. Dramatic indeed. He's getting nervous. He is feeling the strain. But, hey! Miracles happen sometimes, huh? And an obelisk immediately resolved itself. Alright, what's in the box? Apart from a big old charitable bonus. And a decent victory bonus too. Anything else good? 11? Okay, maybe that's based on how many levels you did. And, okay, cool. Ding ding ding. Hoit. And Tammy. Come on, purple, indigo. Oh. Okay. Gain 3 copies after 50 turns, lose all copies. Yeah, not a big fan of that, really. Go on, let's prolong the suspense a little more while I disable that, because I like Time Capsule, but not its Divine variant. Oh, actually, I should really save my codex entry here to regular. And then we have a look at what we got. And... nope, it wasn't. It wasn't Core, either. It was Dream. Okay. Well, carrying on.